Yeah, good, tremendous. That's one way of using that master. The better way.
So, Jonathan, you said we could use it for different therapies, yes? Is it subliminal? Because somebody may buy it for weight or fear of flying.
Subliminals, with the greatest of respect, we'll talk about this after, but with the greatest of respect, I believe subliminals are a crock of shit, as I explain on me. This is actually, they will hear your words, like a normal therapy session, like a therapist would do one-to-one, close your eyes, relax. You're going to relax every muscle in your body, from the tips of your toes to the tips of your fingers, with every breath that you take. Every noise that you hear, every word that I say helping you relax more. Bullshit waffle. The script's there, word for word, it works, as people have just told you. Believe me, it paid my bills for many years before I got intelligent and started working smart, not hard. The other way, the better way of using that master, as well as a free bonus, is yeah, you could have sites if you so desired, selling it just as the product itself. One of my ex-hypnosis students, Tim, set up a business, hypnoshop.com, done just that very thing. And he's got titles out there for just about everything you can think of. Now, in fairness, in my opinion, he's fucked up slightly, putting too much hard work into it, because he has actually recorded a specific disc for every single different thing. He took me advice on other things, but ignored me advice on that one still. His loss of life. Because that disc, because it can cover anything, you can get them produced mega cheap. Now, if you go on the net and search for, what's it come under? Glass stamped compact discs in speech marks, narrow it down, and then next to the speech marks put UK to indicate England. In the top 10, there is a company in Blackburn. That much I do remember. Unfortunately, I can't remember the web address at the minute. Or if anyone needs to, come on the news group, put a posting up, and then I'll post up their address, website address, and freeform telephone number, because I've not got it at home. And at the minute, it's about 790 quid for 1,000 glass stamped audio CDs. But that glass stamp means rather than being burned like these are on a computer, when somebody looks at it, it looks like something they've got from HMV. They will colour print on the body of the disc, so it looks like something you bought from HMV. They will put it in the box for you. There will be, you supply the design obviously, but the cover, front and back inlay, will be in full photographic glossy colour, but in there. It will also be shrink wrapped, so it's exactly like picking something off the shelf at HMV. And that will include delivery to your front door. So they're there now, you've got boxing, corner at room. The time and effort involved there was just doing your master disc. Which you never need to do again, because next time you want some more, you just send them the master disc you've already got. So this really is the lazy way to make money. Those discs in that box are all identical. The discs are identical, the flipping, the design on the front's identical, the design on the back's identical, and I would suggest it says something on the front like, solve your problem with complete mind therapy. And here's the crazy bit. You're going to think I'm mad, but I'm not mad. Featuring whatever name you're going to use, whatever this therapist happens to be called, your own name or a pen name. Even more ideal if you've got a legally recognised doctorate, so you get into the rounds of clinical consultant, doctor and all that we talk about in the hypnotic marketing stuff, higher perceived value. International celebrity mind therapist. But here's a way you can put the doctor title on the front, and I'll allow you to do this. Everyone in this room, I will give permission to do what I'm about to say. And anyone who's bought these DVDs and has got the licence that goes with them in black and white, I will also give permission to do this. If you don't want to spend out 1,500 quid or just less than that on getting your own doctorate, but on there, featuring, and then your name, International Celebrity Mind Therapist, and then but underneath it, in slightly smaller print, scripted by, or hypnotic consultant, or even better, scripted by hypnotic consultant, Dr. Jonathan Royle, BSc. You've then got the perceived clinical status using my name. You've still got a different product than your competitor in so much as it's a different therapist name on it as the voice. So, you know, because some people out there, when it comes to therapy stuff, they prefer a female voice to a male, and what have you. But you can use my name. And obviously there is sense to that. A, it will help you make more money, and B, you'd be amazed how many more people will end up visiting my websites when they tap the name and they see it on the CD, and I'll make money out of it. So you'll be advertising for me for free. But it helps you, it helps me, everyone's happy. So there's no mention on that cover of what the actual problem is. Then all you do is you go to Staples and you buy yourself some sheets of self-adhesive labels that are about so big ones. What's that? Anyone good on sizes? What's that? Right?
An inch and a half.
Fucking hell, if that's an inch and a half, I've got no fucking worries. No, seriously, about so big. Slightly bigger than a normal one of those self-adhesive address labels is that you get from Able Labels in exchange of mark. And then, whenever you need them on your computer, you just set up your template, label template. And all you've got to type in is golf, or spiders, or whatever. I suggest to save yourself time, if you end up having to do one for golf, do a full sheet with golf on, and next time you need one, you've already got some there. You know, just to save a bit of time. And all you need to do then, on the top right-hand corner of the CD case, if somebody orders one for golf, is just stick in the top right-hand corner where you've left a bit big enough blank with no text underneath, the sticker saying golf, because psychologically when the person orders it, that's what they've ordered. Psychologically when they undo the envelope and pull it out and see the word golf, it embeds in their head, this is what they've ordered, that ties in with what it says on the side, which obviously is specific to golf.
So you said they were going to be shrink wrapped?
They are. You
So
stick it on the cellophane on the outside.
Okay.
Yeah. But you make sure there's no words underneath on the cover, because otherwise they'll be like, "Can we see it?" So that disc, then, is numerous products for you. Anything you can think of. You can literally, I'm not saying have a site that says whatever you're, well you could, because you would technically not be lying. You could, this is taking it another level, you could have a site that goes out, and you could put little small classifieds, whatever your problem, from A through to Z, visit me at whatever address. And when they get on the site, it basically says, we will make you tailor-made audio, complete mind therapy, hypnotic NLP, CDs, to specifically treat whatever problem you have. Click here to buy it now. Our expert therapist will put it together for you. He'll be with you within 7 to 10 days. And that gives it a higher perceived value. Probably knock him out in 97 quid then. And what do? You leave it a few days before you print out the label saying fear of felching or whatever. And you stick it on the shrink wrap of one of the CDs you pulled out of the box, pop it in the jiffy envelope, send it to them, they open it, go, fear of felching, fucking hell. Because it's such an obscure one, they think, I've paid good money for this to be done just for me, and because of the nature of the script, it will seem to the client as though it's been put together, especially for them, and that is why, because of belief and expectancy, the placebo effect, and the psychological element of hypnosis that comes into it, it will be successful for them. They will feel they have had value for money, and you've just turned what has cost you 80 pence for the professional looking CD, 20 pence for a jiffy envelope, 44 pence for a stamp, £1, 44 pence into 97 quid. And you've got an unlimited product range there with a little bit of common sense. And yeah, there's a few heads going, that's good. I can see that one or two of you in here will be putting that to use. So you can use it as an actual product in its own right, especially if you put this tailor-made angle on it, then you can start getting 97s, 77s, whatever you perceptively, and you worldwide is your market. And there are groups, the beauty of this is, there are loads of news groups for people who want to stop smoking. There's news groups for weight loss support. There's news groups for improve your golf. There's news groups for people who've got fears, phobias. There's news groups for people with stress, anxiety. Everything you can think of from A through to Z, there are loads of news groups where people support each other and exchange with each other where, you know, they can get help. So you can join these free of charge. You can do your advertising free of charge to generate your traffic to your website free of charge, which then does the sales job for you because you followed the rules of attention, interest, desire, action, pushing the emotional triggers. How much more emotional can it be that you're special as a person? You deserve the best. Why trust your recovery to one of the many cowboy therapists out there when you can now, for the first time in the comfort of your own home, engage the services of international celebrity mind therapist, whatever your name, and hypnotic script consultant, Dr. Jonathan Royle, a BSc, to tailor-make you a bespoke, B-E-S-P-O-K-E, complete mind therapy, audio treatment session. Session sounds higher perceived value than CD. People follow this, tremendous. Why do I get the feeling this is one lots of you are going to be voting to action? This is just coming off the top of my head. Whatever waffle, whatever your fear not. Fear not. Fear is a good power word. It motivates people. Fear not. Whatever your issue, comma, problem, comma, habit, comma, whatever your issue, problem, habit, or emotional disorder, I think you've just about covered everything there with those few words, are experienced experts, consultants, can, power word, future pacing, can help you change your life forever. Then obviously at that point you have a click to order your tailor-made CD now, and then you might waffle on with some other bullshit, but it gives you a rough idea of how you can turn £1, 20 pence into 97 quid and have a numerous, vast database of, you know, and advertising for free. In other words, encapsulate lots of what we've talked about this weekend and get started at next to no cost. So that's as a product. You can use it as a free gift within, you know, when you order within 7 days on many of your niche market product areas. And of course, it goes without saying, for those of you who are here who are therapists, or for those of you who've got the DVD box set and decide to learn complete mind therapy, you can also use that same CD to give your personal face-to-face one-to-one clients at the end of the session, telling them to listen to it once every other day for the next 28 days. which you would still tell them in the instructions that you sent out, or will be printed on the inlay of the CD, that for guaranteed results, you must listen to this audio treatment session once every other day for the next 28 days. I tell you now, no fucker ever does. That's why you won't ever get any refunds on this. They'll have lost it, broken it, scratched it, the kids will have pissed on it, James will have took it felching. Something will have happened. Nobody ever does. People just don't have time. That's why, you know, you won't. Your number of so-called refunds are going to be minuscule. But by offering that money back guarantee, you're going to sell far more of them, especially because it's 97 quid. But, and I'll ask you just one more time, those of you in here who've done CMT, did it work for you?
Yeah, it does.
So, you know, it may not work all the time because you can please all of the people some of the time, some of the people all of the time, but never everyone all of the time. But that doesn't matter. You're selling enough, or even a few a day at 97 quid, you don't mind if every so often you have to refund the odd person. Because that's far better selling them at 97 quid in that sort of bespoke, tailor-made manner than it is selling them at 20 quid as a, this is just like any other therapy CD, and you've got to sell 5 times as many, 6 times as many with your running costs. Make it easy on yourself. Does that make sense? Tremendous. Okie dokie. Yeah, media promotions. We'll leave eBay till... No, we won't. We'll do eBay next. We'll finish on media promotions and we can have a bit of a giggle. eBay. Yeah, what was it I actually wanted to tell you about eBay? Well, it all comes down to your personal perception of what making a lot of money is. I would say that eBay is never going to, in terms of just selling products, make you particularly rich. Okay? Because people expect a bargain on there. So, e.g., this DVD set will be going out for the best part of £1,000 a time. It would never appear on eBay. Because that would instantly, as we spoke about before, devalue the product, making it harder to sell to other people.
There was a Greek guy in the Sunday Times report allegedly selling antiquities. He's making £1.25 million a year on eBay.
Oh, there is some people making massive money, but there again, then he's having to buy stuff in. You get into the rounds of working for a living, dinky donuts. But there is money in it if you're prepared to put the work in. Is where the balance is. Where I found eBay to be more useful. Not that it bothers me now, this is on 2 levels. When I was doing it personally myself, and I still do, just a little tiny bit, is as nothing more than a lead generation system. But one that you're getting paid for. That's the way you have to think of it mentally. Yes, you're going to have to burn a CD to send them the bloody ebook, or email them the ebook, or email them the link so they can go to a site to download it, so it cuts down the time a bit. But you will then have that person's name, email, address, and an indication of their niche interest. And you'll have been paid maybe only £4.70 plus £3 quid off postage, or a straight £5 for an ebook, which is not a lot of money. Never going to make you rich. But A, it's a bit of money. B, more importantly, it's a lead that you've not had to buy a mailing list for. And C, as you build up your list, you can rent this out to other people. But more importantly, you can then offer them a £20 product and start them through the funnel. 27. And use all the principles that we've covered this weekend. That's one way of using eBay. A way that I've found reasonably successful of using eBay is just referring back to the most haunted type business development. We develop a business, do it a few times in the manner we spoke about, and then sell it on to somebody by listing it in the businesses for sale section, basically. It's a good place because a lot of people go there and it costs you next to nothing to list on there. You know, it's put it this way, it's a damn sight cheaper. Rather than this paranormal idea, as a concept, a business concept and that stuff, if we could either A, be asked, or B, bother taking the potential little bit of a risk to spend a few grand on a nice glossy advert in something like a franchise magazine, we would more than likely get the best part of 50 grand for it. Piece of piss. For per area I'm on about, not for selling the business concept, per area as a franchise. As a business concept, fucking sky would be the limit. But it might take months and 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 months before it's sold. Plus, you'd have numerous phone calls, people wanting information, right? It's a fucking ball ache, a waste of time, and potentially a waste of money, because if it's been going in for months and months and months, your advertising bill at the end could be thousands upon thousands of pounds. Better off going to the people who want to bargain, getting 10, 15 grand out of them, and it might have cost you as much as 50 quid for the listing if you make it home page featured, or which you can't really do with something like this, but as long as you make it featured plus, so it's as highlighted as it can be, minimal risk to maximum profit, following the whole philosophy of what we've been covering this weekend. That's the other way to use eBay. The third way we've already covered is that you take advantage of the fact that people on there are skinflints and want bargains at the cheapest price for you to source your new products at the cheapest price. So you're investing less into your business expansion and product development. And it can in itself be a business that you are developing. Right, before this gets too confusing. And this is exactly what I have done. This happened. I can't remember exactly how long ago now. 2002, 3, 4, 5. We're into 6, 7 now, aren't we? Just over 4.5 years ago, that is when I started personally selling stuff on eBay, okay? No intentions of carrying on doing it. Built up a product database, did seminars, started filming them, so that there's some money coming in, but I'm getting paid for creating my product. The money in this room today, no offence to anyone, but ain't worth getting out of fucking bed for. But getting the product whereby I don't have to arse around inviting people, getting the product whereby I'm slightly more motivated by the fact that, you know, my bar bill's paid tonight, by who sat in front of me, gives me a product that I am then going to be selling for the rest of my life. So we built them up over a number of years. I was selling stuff on eBay, my books, you know, I mean, this was on CD-ROM then rather than printed book, as were numerous other stuff I've written. And it did get to the point where it was turning over a couple of grand clear profit every week. More importantly, it was generating leads to get people to buy other stuff off the website. That was what was most important at the time. So then they went into the funnel. The feedback was constantly going up. So I was a power seller, bronze, you know, silver, bronze, up it goes. The more numbers you've got there, positive feedback, the more people are likely to buy off you. Okay? So this is all happening naturally in the process of just bringing in a bit of money and lead generation. I decided August 2005 that it was fucking me off, it was keeping me out of the pub too long. I was getting to the pub, I wasn't getting there till like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. No, I actually wish I was joking. I ain't. I wasn't getting, no, well I am a little bit. I wasn't getting into the pub till like... You are?
Like half an hour.
Yeah, you bastard. You know me too well. It was becoming that, it was well imbalanced for what it was bringing out. On the eBay side, yes, admittedly they were going into the funnel, yes, more money was coming out. So I thought, that's it, I'm selling on. You can sell your eBay account onto somebody else. I don't know if you knew that, but you can sell your eBay business onto somebody else. Obviously, because you built it up with your feedbacks all relevant to one product range, and the ones that I were running were relevant to hypnosis and related fields, you would need to be selling it to somebody who's going to continue running it, selling that nature of product, obviously. So you're going to have to sell them the licenses and or copyright or joint venture basis with the product, supply them as they need them, whichever way suited you, so they could carry on running that particular business. And that's essentially exactly what I did. I told Pete, who was doing all my product fulfillment for me at the time, so I didn't, because I'm a lazy bastard. I said, that's it, I'm selling it up, I've had enough. And Pete came back to me a few weeks later and said, how much do you want? Which stunned me a bit, because why the fuck would he want to be adding more hours work into his day? Don't know. I mean, I know the answer to that now. That's because he's delegated to somebody else to do it all. But anyway, I said, that sounds good to me. Contract was signed, money's exchanged, it's all stayed in the family. So ironically, not only did I sell my eBay business, but somebody else would have bought it. But I know why Pete bought it, because he didn't want to lose the funnel element of the front end equals people buying more and more and more and more and more and more. That's why he bought it, because it was established with, I think it was 99.6 or 0.8% positive feedback, because you always get the odd wankers leaving something negative. So you can actually sell on your eBay business. So in the process of doing it, and if Pete hadn't have bought me out on the eBay side, I'd have sold it to a third party entirely, but on a basis whereby they would have had to have carried on getting the products at a pre-arranged price from us, whereby the majority of that then would have gone to Pete, because he'd have been doing the hard work. But there's always ways round things when you sit down and think about it. So you can also see it mentally as your lead generation system and a little bit of pocket change, but in long term, the business itself, when you come to the point where you go, that's it, I've done my 3-5 year plan, or I've achieved it sooner, I've got my magic figure in the bank we spoke about yesterday, the interest off that every month's going to pay for everything, I never need to work again, then sell it. Sell everything, sell your fucking product. I don't own the copyright on any of this shit down here. Sorry, quality information products. But most of you already know that the quality information products, because you've had one or more of them before and it's helped you. I've got nothing all to do with it except reminding you of how wonderful they are and how cheaply they will be available when we finish here today. Said goodbye, don't need the baggage, now to do with me. Onwards and upwards. So that's the other way you can use eBay. Okay, let's go to more media promotion ideas in terms of getting people to pick up the phone, ring up and want a sales letter sent to them, or in terms of visiting your website and buying off the page, what we talked about briefly.
That's what eBay.
Yeah.
You've got the same products on different sellers.
Yeah. You know,
it's the same people at the end of the day, but one of them's in dollars.
yeah, one which is because Americans like buying in dollars, preferable to sterling. There's several accounts, some have got the same products on, but the weird thing is I found, and I know Pete's told me he's found, that for some strange reason, some people who find that username, well, but I don't know, but some people just end up sticking with that username. They bought something off them first. It's the trust thing, I suppose, that we said about before, and credibility. So they go back for the same username for something else rather than over here.
I did precisely that, and the reason was that one of the usernames had more of your stuff on it, so I assumed that was genuine, and the other one I thought was someone ripping your stuff off, burning it, someone copying it. And I actually went on there the second time, searched again, and I couldn't remember who I bought from. I had to go through my feedback and look at it.
Well, let me tell you, any products with my name or face on eBay, unless it is somebody selling them illegally, in which case Pete's already got it set up so they'd be found within a matter of hours, and their eBay account would then, well, the auction would be took down, and if they repeat offended, we'd shut their eBay account down, and if they repeat offended under a different name, then we take them to the High Court, like we did somebody last year. And I would act as a barrister, and we would sue their ass off and win, like we did last year. So, no, it's all genuine stuff. Anyway, right, media promotions. Getting people to pick up the phone, get your sales letter, sent to them, or visit your website and buy that way. We gave the example of the water stunt yesterday. Oh dear. As an example of how to get people to, well, promote products, services, businesses, whatever. I'm trying here very quickly. I'm trying to give you an example, but like yesterday, It's about using your common sense. What is relevant to that particular niche market. Okay? A hypno example. Years ago, oh my God, I had long hair. I was about 14 on that. I went to my local newspaper and I says, I've just passed this course in no easy therapy, this pain control. I got the certificate printed uptown at a printer's. They charged me about £2.95 at the time to print it out. I told them what word it was. This is true. I went to local paper and said, look, the photo's the picture sort of thing. Now, they didn't actually end up using that photo, but at least I've made it easy for them. You know, I've just passed and I'm going to help people. And the angle was that I will give free treatment to the readers in your area for the next 7 days when they ring me. They wanted a picture of me apparently hypnotising someone. Fucking local newspaper, they always want that. Look into my eyes, not around the eyes. For some reason. And sure enough, the article went in, they swallowed it all up, and at the end it had the telephone number saying free sessions. How did that make me money? Well, when they rung up, yeah, there's 2 ways you can have a free session. Way number 1 is, if you want to stop smoking, for example, you find 2 of your friends, and at this time I was only charging, because this is going back a number of years, I was only charging 40 quid then. For therapy. Fucking hell. Yeah, like hard work. Pardon? Well, it was. I was just nearly approaching 15. That's when I started out. Those were the days when I used to go along, tell them to close their eyes, keep their eyes closed at all times, and then I'd get out a script and just read it word for word, put it back in the case, and at the end tell them to open their eyes and take the money off them. And thanks to the placebo effect, belief and expectancy, for a lot of people, it did work. And then I started learning how to actually become a bloody good hypnotist a couple of years after that. But the point is, they rang up and said, point 1, you can either get 2 of your friends, for example, to pay to stop smoking, and I'll do you, I'll probably use better wording than that, but I'll do you for free. And then you go along, you get paid for them 2, but you do them all together as like a mini group session. Say, which means you're doing it in less time for more money. Or option B is, you can say to them, and I played around with them both, and they both worked. Oh, right, okay, what's your problem? All right. That's probably going to take 2 or 3 sessions. Now, I'll give you the first session for free. The other 2 will be £40 each. That'll be a total of £80. That is payable on the first visit, though. That's what, obviously, you adjust your fees accordingly to what you'll be charging these days. Yeah, you know. That's how to get the word free, and that's something I did hypno-wise. Water escapes done. We gave you that example yesterday. That not only gave me publicity, but it also gave a bottled water company publicity. They rang up, it happens. Or anything to do with charity. Anywhere you can involve charity. Charity. Do a lot of work for charity. Anywhere you can involve charity is going to help you get more media coverage. If you can either A, say that, I don't know, you know, if you had a smoking cessation package, you could say that X percentage, I'll let your own moral code work that out for you, X percentage of profits will be given to charity, and obviously one relevant to smoking, okay? You could go a step further and it's legal, but again it's down to your ethics, morals and values, it's up to you. But you could take it to the point of saying that all profits go to, and then the name of the charity. All profits is the key part of the phrase, because every one of them that sells at whatever price, like it or lump it, the company over here send you an invoice every month, don't they? And you've got to pay them 17 quid out of this 20 quid every month. There's only 3 quid left, oh dear. Well, anyway, we'll give it a charity. Charity begins at fucking home. When you know, that's down to your ethics, morals and values. But it does work. The entertainment industry use it all the time. You see shows on at civic centres. They say, all profits to such and such local cancer hospice or some local charity, which gets them the media publicity you see in the local press for the show that's taking place, both before and afterwards, because afterwards you've got the, I've given money to charity. picture with a check photograph. The photograph is the story, which again plugs your website and your telephone number. And what you've given it is relatively little. It wasn't your money anyway, it's somebody else's you're giving. So what are you worried about? And you can always go and visit your company over here where all this money's piled up, you see, at a later stage. Charity is a great way of getting publicity. You go and see these charity shows at civic centres, and I guarantee the majority of them, I'm saying majority, so I'm not libeling anyone or slandering anyone, but the majority of them, I know for a fact that the profits are very low because the overheads are very high. And I know the overheads are very high because I've been in show business all my life, and I know the majority of people who run these shows, and they make absolutely tons of fucking money out of it. The point is, well, the example of what I'm on about, you can involve charity into things. Sex always works, depending on the angle. Some of you, that's definitely not something you want to explore. For others, maybe it is. I know I can get in the paper any day of the week I want. National press publicity, all I've got to do is go and pay a glamour model X £100 to get a tit sale, sit on my face, whatever, have the photograph done, the photograph's the story, go, give her a few more £100 to go to the press and say, I was forced into sex with the mucky hypnotist, and I guarantee a story will appear. It's cost me money to set up, but ironically, no, it doesn't always, because quite often they will pay to the distressed party, the female, a couple of G for the story, and you've obviously got to deal with the distressed party that you split that 50-50, so you end up with your money back and a bit in front as well. The story goes in, and given the nature of it, it mentions your name, it mentions whatever. They have to come to you for a quote, and that is where you get your plug-in, which in this case was that I mentioned that I had a book out, How to Get Laid 365 times a year. Yes, of course I shagged her. It improved her sex life. That's why I've got a book coming out. What, a book? Sex? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Where can you get it from? They end up putting the website address in. Free publicity and getting paid for the privilege. Well, that's examples of it. Dirty Transom, I thought it was Mel Gibson, that was the Sun newspaper. Sex is one of the better perks of the job, News of the World. This is all bullshit, by the way. These are all actresses I paid. I never did this.
I ended up in the Sun. It was yes, 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 I had my wife's orgasm, and yes, 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 it was better than man's.
Was this for real or was
this was real, this was real.
No, I know you're in. What I'm saying is, did it happen for real or was it...
Well, what happened is a journalist came to see me and he wanted to experience what it felt like to give birth.
Right.
So I got him to imagine being his wife, took him back over the time I dropped him into the memory, and he seemed to be experiencing it. Went a bit further, went back to conception, and his face went kind of really pink.
Okay.
And he seemed to be rather enjoying it, so
well,
and he managed to sell it to the Sun.
The other angle on it, but the point there being that is also somewhat slightly dubious, but in that nature, because it's therapy, the perception will be of a positive nature. The image I was portraying was more controversial. But the same principles apply. It's getting the attention, it's making it stand out from the ordinary, and then within that, because they didn't want to put you in the Sun to go, here's the name of this therapist, if you've got a problem, go there. They wanted to put in the Sun a bloke having an orgasm, feeling like a woman. That's it in a nutshell. That's the story. Albeit they'll have made it seem respectable, but that is it, that's the story. Bloke, orgasm, sex, woman.
And then I got to take Jodie Marsh back to experience her boyfriend's orgasm.
Which one?
Which went into well, the current one at the time.
Oh right, okay.
And
yeah, exactly. Which one?
That went into Closer magazine.
So yeah, you come up with that. That's on the therapy level. There's numerous examples there, but it's again, it doesn't matter as long as you get the publicity and it's relevant in some way. Here with sex, but it ended up selling me loads of copies of my book Hypnotism and Sex, How to Get Laid 365 times a year. You can, because they have to ask you for a quote, work in your product plug. Which takes a bit of creativity. Like with water. We went from water to it's plugging my TV series is for sale. but the link to getting the water plugged in the first place was escapology. It doesn't have to make sense. Think outside the box. As long as the end point is that the photograph or somewhere in the text gives a link or a telephone number, plug in whatever it is that you're wanting to sell, because that's then when you make your money. Take that. That was in the Sunday News and Echo, which doesn't exist anymore. It was one of the sport newspapers, Sunday papers. Storm as telehypnotist gives victim a tattoo, apparently against his will. And then it actually just happens to point out about how people with pain controls, so that they can have a tattoo if they want one, you know, if they're scared of needles or pain. I did get my clients. More importantly, I then photocopied that article, that's the other way of using the media, photocopied it and did send it round the local tattoo parlours with a cover letter along the lines of increase your business by letting people know who are curious that you've got somebody available who will stop the pain and cure their fear of needles. So they become your unpaid salespeople, getting you more clients. The truth behind it is, that's a mate of mine, street trader, cum rogue from Blackpool. That is one of the fake tattoos that came out of the head shop that I subsequently ended up buying. So I buy one of these, put it on the arm, ask somebody who had tattoos, and they said the fake ones have one fault, they don't have a black line around the edge. So I've got a very thin marker pen and put the black line around. He fucking knew straight away, the photographer for the paper, when he knew it stunk to high heaven. He fucking did. He did. But the point is, he's been sent now by the paper. He only gets paid if he takes the shot. Whoever said the camera doesn't lie was talking bollocks. He takes the picture. Brilliant. Genuine tattoo. He's going to keep quiet because he wants to get paid off the paper. The story goes in. I get clients. You see, it doesn't always have to make sense. Oh yeah, numerous times, the hypnotism and sex one, I've just brought that up every few years. Sunday people, 300 girls looked into my eyes and had sex with me. Not all at once, you understand. That'd just be a bit too scary. Actually, they fucking didn't full stop. It's bollocks. You know, as is marketing. Marketing is all bollocks. It's so simple. It's not rocket science. People will bullshit you and say it's hard to make money. People will bullshit you and charge you thousands for marketing courses and say that, you know, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, you've got to spend hours doing it. No, you fucking don't. None of that takes any particular effort we spoke about this weekend. Yes, it may, in some of the cases it does along the way, but then it ends up running on autopilot. So in all cases you get to a point where you're doing that all. Oh, but this is going off on one entirely, but just while we're at the page, I used to, my hobby, so to speak, was pretending to be different people and scamming television chat shows. And I am actually the most prolific television chat show scamster in England. I'm barred from just about every television chat show as a result, mind. But I used to go on with fake names, alleged disguises, the difference between my hair being one colour or the other, basically. And talk about everything from being, well, a hypnotist, which was true, to at the other end of the scale being a belly button reading psychic, a psychic for dogs who did paurology, read dogs' paws to tell the future, professional tree slapper. Yeah, tree slapping being the fine art of using a fish spatula and a fly swat to stimulate a tree growing in an unnatural environment so it grows more naturally and becomes better for gardeners. And as you'll see when you buy Confessions of a Celebrity Psychic, I then put together an information pack on tree slapping on the back of that chat show television appearance. And I did, it's all in here, word for word, the information pack. And I also put an audio tape together called Snore and Grow, because amazingly I'd found that whenever I had plants in my bedroom and I was snoring, the plants grew quicker. Right? So they got the tree slapping implement, a fish spatula, a fly swat. A few pages of instructions as per the book suggests, telling them where and how to hit the tree. And for their small plants that they couldn't hit, that they could take in the bedroom, the snoring tape, because I'm blessed with this psychic style. Snoring. Your niche market, who is it? Gardeners, there's fucking loads of them. On the sales blurb I could say, what could I say? I'd been on this television chat show, demonstrating that it worked. That was the emphasis, that it worked. Yeah, I'll tell you how it worked in a minute, but how that it worked. So it made it seem credible, because it's got the perceived endorsement of a national television show. And obviously, bring into that, the show was presented by such and such. You've then got a celebrity name involved, it's perceived associated endorsement. Something that sounds ridiculous to you right now when I've just said it, actually starts to become credible. Especially when you point out in the sales letter that the Kew Gardens in London, which Prince Charles is a patron of, I believe, it's a very respectable gardening institute. They've actually genuinely, and they have, this is true, experimented with sending vibrations through the soil to help plants grow. And they found that it does. It's just that I discovered it's better to hit them on the trunk or the tree. So suddenly it seems to be credible. So you can have the most out-of-the-box, crazy, fucked-up idea, and then by using the media, give yourself a sense of credibility. Because getting in on the media with something like that, because obviously that's the next step. How do you get on as the tree slapper? Or as the dog's paw reading psychic, who then, on the show, happens to mention their website, because it's a live TV show, so they can't edit it out, so you just very quickly put in paurology.com. It's already gone, by the way. Don't bother looking for it. I know. Because it's another one of my ex-students, I believe, who's got it, doing dog's paw readings. Once you've got on the show, then you can release your product. You can already have the adult there, because you know you're going on the show. You already have the adult. You've got your product together. It's just that on the show, you've got to get on there to be able to give your plug. With radio, you're always generally live. So you just keep plugging. They don't like it. They fucking hate it, especially BBC stations. But you just go, whatever they ask you. So how did you become a professional tree slapper? That's a very interesting... I'm so glad you asked that question. And you know, we answer that more fully at treeslapping.com. But what happened was, a number of years ago, blah, 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 you talk about it. The next time they ask you a question, well, yeah, I've been doing this for a number of years now, and since I've set up treeslapping.com, you do what politicians do, you just keep throwing it in, TV, radio, all the time. As long as it gets out there, people will look, you will result in selling. And I'll tell you what it is, the fish bachelors, you got a pack of 2 for a pound in the pound shop. Same with the fly swats. Yeah, cut me out, that's 2 packages, that, when you cut me in half. No, they only need 1 fly swat, it's a precise science. A couple of sheets of A4 double-sided paper folded in half, and an audio CD of snoring.
How much?
27 quid.
Bargain.
It is! No, hey, but we're going to sell it for more. But you can put it, hey, up. I've thought, I didn't do this bit, but order within 7 days and get a free packet of seeds, I don't know. You think it's daft, but eBay is actually a good place for wacky stuff. The wackier the better, because they have a weird section on there, right? Yeah. A weird section and a section called everything else. Now, obviously, if it's got keywords in like gardening, which you would have, this example, then anyone who's looking for gardening stuff on eBay will also find your auction for this crazy oddball item. And if you were to perhaps give all profits to such and such a charity, your bids will go through the roof. And you will probably make hundreds of pounds for each one you sold. Less whatever cut ends up to charity on the basis we said before. Because somebody sold a bucket of water on eBay last year, and it went for...
There was people selling jars of royal air, weren't there? So Buckingham Palace, a photo when he taking a jar of royal air and saying to the Chinese for 15 penny.
15 quid an empty jar. Somebody sold a bucket of water, it went for the best part of £1,000. It was a so-called charity auction, but they did point out on it, buy and must collect, we will not be responsible for spillage.
Someone also sold a toasted sandwich that had the sort of the burn mark of Virgin Mary in it.
Yeah, that's recently, and that went for a fortune, didn't it?
Yeah,
So, you know, the most wild and crazy ideas, especially if you're helping charity, on eBay, can do two things. Number one, the wackier it is, the more chance there is of the media finding out that the auction is up there, which obviously you put up for 10 days, so you've got maximum time period available to be able to get the media interest. And, you know, I mean, heaven forbid that any of you thought it might be a good idea to go to a friend's house and using their computer so there's no trace to you, accidentally tip all the newspapers off listed on ukmedia.com that this really fucked up auction's taking place, that the journalists see it and think, we've got a story here. Can't imagine that happening, can you? Point is, the story gets in about this crazy auction. Every few weeks you see them. Some less crazy than others. I mean, obviously recently, the most recent one was the fact that somebody had just put up some of Britney Spears' hair, and it had already gone to in excess of $1 million US. Yes, I believe it sold for the best part of $2 million US on the basis that people were hoping that when they got the hair, which had been left at the hairdresser, so it was all legal, they could have it tested for drugs, and if they could prove she was on drugs, I don't know whether that has occurred or not, so I can't say anything, but this is what the press have said, what I've been led to believe. Right, that's been covered legally. That then they would have a massively saleable worldwide story, that they'd get their money back tenfold over and totally fuck up Britney Spears' career. That's show business, you know? These things do happen.
I think she's doing quite well for herself without anybody else out there.
Yeah, but that's a more serious side. And I'm not suggesting that anyone commits fraud, definitely not. But, because proving whether it was Britney Spears' hair or not is relatively easy to do. But when the Berlin Wall was knocked down, suddenly all over internet, people were selling chunks of the Berlin Wall. Now, I'm sorry. Call me cynical, but I have a vague suspicion, as these people, there were loads of different people doing it, located all over the world, selling bits of the Berlin Wall. How exactly did those bits get there in the first place to be sold? I have a vague suspicion there might just be any old piece of the fucking rock. But the point is that people made big profits out of it. And the moral behind this story is, the wackier, the better. You can make money from shit. Well, that's life full stop. You'll get much further in life with shit. You can slide much further on shit than you ever will on gravel. That is fact. Like it or lump it. So, the stuff will go in the media, people will see the auction. Yes, you may end up selling them. It doesn't matter whether it does or it doesn't, because somewhere in that they will see, they will end up searching the net as well, and they will, of course, they will find your website because you've already set it up, haven't you? It's being plugged everywhere. You're getting free publicity for it, which then sells you your number one product, which leads them into the funnel, and the whole system we've talked about all weekend comes into play. So, a couple of useful resources before we have a few questions and answers before we finish. CFAX, that's on your television, CFAX. It is in the UK anyway, there's probably an equivalent in America and around the world. CFAX pages 696, 615 and 650 are where, the last time I looked, which was a couple of weeks ago, they may have changed, but if they have, it'll just redirect you. They list adverts for people they want to appear in television programmes. On Channel 4's teletext service, pages 350, 347 and 348 are the places where they have adverts for people that want to take part in Channel 4 programmes. And I'll mention why that's relevant in a few short moments' time. I shouldn't give you these numbers. I know that most of them are still valid. They may change from time to time, but they are still valid. The news desk for the Mirror and Sunday Mirror in London, they're direct, private. You never heard this from me. Everyone understand? Thank you. 0500 350 014. The reason that's so valuable, these numbers I'm going to give you, is because this is the numbers they only give out to undercover journalists or their own journalists, staff or associate journalists. So A, they pick the phone up quicker, and B, they think you are a bona fide freelance journalist. So when you play the part of being a bona fide freelance journalist, tipping them off about this wacky auction that might be a story for them, or tipping them off about this website where you found this mad tree-slapping person, or tipping them off about this incredibly good way to do X, Y or Z, they will think you're a bona fide journalist. They will take you seriously. The Sun, 0800 616 863. And how did I get these numbers? I used to be an undercover journalist. I'll read my autobiography for more on that. News of the World, 0800 010 373. The Sunday People newspaper, 0800 289 302. And finally, unfortunately, they don't have a free phone number, but it is the direct to the news desk. The Sport and Sunday Sport newspapers, 0161 236 4466. It also saves you the phone call cost, which will be free if you've got the correct service anyway. But, and you leave some sort of message like, "Hi, my name's such and such, I'm ringing regards your thing on CFAX, very interested in perhaps helping you out with the programme, call me back." You don't mention what you do, you leave them to presume that you've got that phobia. Once they ring you back and they're on the phone, and they've taken the time to call you, as a television researcher will do, and that's when you explain to them that actually you've treated a lot of people like this, and you can supply them with some of your ex-clients who you've successfully treated, and you can also perhaps even be filmed doing it for somebody they provide. And if you haven't treated any ex-clients with that particular problem, don't you just give your mates a bit of their money, don't you, to play along and act the fucking thing out? Because 99.9% of the shit I've done on TV over the years have been complete and utter scams. Actors, actresses paid for, utter bullshit. But it makes money. Or you'll see things like, so you end up, what you say, you'll only supply those people if you get it in writing that you are going to be involved in the programme. You're not bothered about getting paid. Taking part means that at the end of the show, or during the show, there will tend to go captions up anyway, saying who you are, which means people can search for you on the net. With most TV programmes these days, they have websites where it mentions who the guest have been and gives web links. If not, lots of people regularly do it. They ring up the TV programmes and say, "Who's that person? How do I get hold of them?" That happens regularly. Point is, it generates leads for whatever it may be, and depending on how wacky, serious or whatever angle you've gone with, it could be that you're selling your own service or business, or it could be that you're shifting your Ninja Death Secrets set because you've seen something advertised on one of them saying, "Crime is rising, have you been a victim of violent crime?" Get them to ring you back and point out, well, actually we've got a lot of clients that used to have that problem, but they've studied our package, which is unique. You get the idea? Not all of them will be successful, but the more you throw out, the more that will. And when you get even 2 minutes of television airtime, that is worth hundreds of thousands of pounds in terms of what it would cost you for advertising. And even if you only get a tiny percentage seeking you out, searching your site, and then a tiny percentage of that percentage, it starts more people in the funnel, and it means more and more and more and more money and it's just another way of using all the systems or system separately, depending on whether you're using one bit or all of it. That's up to you. You have all the tools there you need. Before we finish, though, there is one more thing I just want to tell you, and that is, firstly, before you go, those who haven't got them, your Secrets of Hypnotic Success DVDs are down here at the front. Those that have already got them, we will arrange to hopefully give you a different set instead. Those of you that don't have all my products yet, shame on you. But we will be selling them at incredibly discounted prices. The final tip I want to give you is some words that, in terms of websites, sales letters, and stuff like that, are particularly proven from experience, not just of myself, but people basically worldwide, to be incredibly effective in getting response. Oh, product approval. I'll just put this in. I came up with an idea for a product a number of years ago called Hypno-High. And to the best of my knowledge, nobody's done it yet. Hypno-High. Just say hip, and then NO was going to be in big red letters. Just say Hypno. The safe, legal alternative to illegal and dangerous drug usage. Which ironically could go on the front of your one-size-fits-all CMT disc. Can you imagine the massive market for that? You could be wholesaling them to head shops all over the world. And there are a lot of fucking head shops. So I thought, I want some product approval. So I wrote to Tony Blair, I wrote to various politicians, Department of Health, saying this is what I wanted to do. Did they have any suggestions in terms of getting funding so we could make it available free on the NHS? Knowing full well they're basically going to say fuck off. But if they come back and say something positive, whether they do or they don't, in a future sales letter for it, I could say, you know, this is set to take off, hopefully to take off and help thousands of people worldwide. Even Tony Blair and the Shadow Minister have recently been informed, or have recently been in discussions about this product. You're not committing fraud. You've got the proof because they send the letters back. They're obliged to write back to you, our MPs, by law. Just out of interest, what did they say? Oh yeah, who was this? This is for Conservatives. Conservatives. Dear Mr. Royal, I'm writing to acknowledge receipt of your letter, which has been passed to me by the office of the Leader of the Opposition, the Right Honourable William Egg. I am responding in my capacity as the Opposition spokesman on drugs misuse policy. I have read the information you have provided in connection with the audio tape you have produced entitled Hypno-High with care, and I trust that your venture will have the attention of the drug rehabilitation charities and other agencies in due course. Fucking brilliant! I trust that your venture, Hypno-High, will have the attention of drug rehabilitation charities and other agencies in due course. Anne Whittington, on behalf of William Egg, Shadow Minister, Conservative Party. Almost a fucking testimonial. How powerful, genuine. Set you thinking, bit of thought, bit of deviousness, send letters out, include stamped addressed envelope, can often come in quite useful in your marketing. If you ever do pay for adverts, by the way, classifieds are not that negotiable. They are a bit. Advertising agencies is not worth dealing with in terms of classifieds, really, because they're so cheap. But PR agencies tend to get anywhere between a 15 to 25% automatic discount on the rate card for display and classified advertising. So you may wish to, as I did a number of years ago, pose as your own PR company booking advertising space for, so you get your 15 to 25% discount. All this other stuff you've seen and thinking, what's that? It's all on the Secrets of Hypnotic Success DVD, so don't worry about that. I'm just wondering. Oh, here we are. Power selling words. These, whether it's face-to-face selling, personal selling, or sales letters, websites, these are the words that are proven to be the most powerful in advertising. And there's quite a few of them. Those that are recording audio, just let me point out.
Are they on the DVD, those power words? Or
These power words are on the CD-ROM that comes with the Secrets of Hypnotic Success DVDs. But I just want you to see, these are emotional, powerful words. The more of them you can slot into your sales blurb without it sounding like you've just put one after the other, obviously. Absolutely. Action. Amazing. Approved. Authentic. Attractive. Bargain. That's always a good one. Bonus. Your bonus DVD when you're ordering this on there. Complete. Implies nothing missing, so it's positive. Confidential. People like things secretive sometimes. They want to know the secret. Controversial. Crammed. As in, crammed full of explosive information. Delivered. Direct. Discount. Easily. Exciting. Exclusive. Ooh, yeah, I want it. Expert. Explosive. Extreme. Famous. Everyone wants to be rich and famous. Free. Full. Obviously, common sense, putting these words in context of the sentence helps. Genuine. Gift. One of the most powerful. Guaranteed. Which is just as powerful as the word free. Helpful. Huge. Improved. Incredible. Informative. I'm going to speed up because they are on the CD-ROM. Interesting. Largest, latest. Lifetime. Magic. Miracle. Mega. New. Noted. Outstanding. Personalised. Powerful. Professional. Profitable. Proven. Quickly. Another most powerful one. Rare. Refundable. Reliable. Secrets. Successful. Tested. Terrific. Unique. Unlimited. Valuable. Warm. Wonderful. And the most powerful word of all, well, there's two other good ones. Discovers good. Anything involving health's good. But the most powerful word in advertising, when used in the correct context, is sex. But don't fall into the cheesy trap that some get-rich scheme advertising people do of putting free sex. So that people look at it and then they read down and it's, now that I've got your attention, I'd like to sell you some gardening stuff. I wish I was joking. It's been done. No, that's not the context. But in a correct context, relevant to the niche market or the product, that's the powerful words. And there's more of them you can get into your copy. And they tend to be the words that, generally speaking, by some sheer fluke, tend to be the words that stand out in a sentence when you read it anywhere. So therefore, they're the ones you might want to make bold print or a different colour on the side. So all these power words, emotional words are flicking out and hitting them. The words themselves conjure up mental images, emotions, feelings, which is what make people buy stuff. But because you've structured them into a sentence relevant to that niche market, relevant to your product, it's pushing their emotions, dreams, desires, ambitions on a level that's relevant to what it is they really feel special about. So it's like, I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it. And that is the key to all this weekend system. And on that note, there's very little else I can tell you, except if you leave this room this weekend, as you all will, with the DVDs, and I want to make sure each of you takes one of these CD-ROMs that's got over 7,000 products on there with resale rights, and also a couple of hundred websites ready-made for you to start making money from. I'd advise you all to join the news group, where you can then speak to me online. We're just in the process of actually setting up a live chat room, so that I'll be doing web chats once a week or once a fortnight to give you live online advice. The DVDs, for anyone who's here that wants copies of the DVDs of this weekend, if you have a word with us after, we'll make sure that you can get them at next to nothing, because you were here anyway, rather than the price everyone else will be paying for them when they've gone through the funnel. And other than that, are there any particular questions, or has that actually made sense this weekend? Yeah. It really is as simple as that to make shitloads of money. The question is, how much money do you want to make? When do you want to make it? And how do you prefer to spend your time making it? Because all of those decisions are available to you to quite easily, within a 3 to 5 year period, reach that magic figure where you can live off the interest and never have to work again. Freedom. It can be yours. Thank you for listening. I'm Jonathan Royal. Good night. Oh yes, and products will be on sale like now. And you can come get your DVDs and CD-ROMs and what have you.